Hi, it's Ann Parker. I'm a past national president. Today I'm going to go over with you our Constitution. Our Constitution tells who we are and what we do. First and foremost, we are federally chartered by our Congress. Our place of incorporation is in the District of Columbia. We have a perpetual existence and we shall be non political, non sectarian, non discriminatory, and non profit. And we shall not use the corporation for any personal or partisan purposes. The mission of the corporation is to support the armed forces of the United States of America and its veterans, to advocate for America's armed forces and those men and women who have served their country, to maintain allegiance to the United States, to educate our members and others not to divulge military or other government information, to assist and participate in ceremonies which honor, remember, and support our military men and women and veterans, to honor their families whose children have died in service to our country, to assist in the care of unsupported members who gave their children to the service of our nation, to foster true democracy, and to assist in homeland security, to uphold the American principles of freedom, justice, and equal rights, and to defend the United States from all enemies, foreign and domestic. Article 2. The corporation shall not issue stock or pay a dividend. The income and assets of the corporation may not endure to the benefit or be distributed to any officer, member, or other private person during the life of the corporation or under its dissolution or final liquidation. The corporation may not make a loan or an advance to any officer, director, member of employee. No substantial part of the corporation activities shall be carrying out propaganda, or otherwise trying to enforce regulation of legislation, such as except as that permitted in the Section 501H of the Internal Revenue Code, in effect, and any corresponding laws of the District of Columbia, and the corporation shall not participate in or intervene, including the publishing or distributing of statements concerning any political campaign on behalf of or in opposition to any candidate of office. Furthermore, no member or officer of the corporation shall make political statements or lobby in her capacity on behalf of the organization. She may only engage in these activities as a private citizen or on behalf of another organization. Notwithstanding any provision of the Constitution, the corporation shall not directly or indirectly carry on any activity that would prevent it from obtaining exemption from the federal income taxation as a corporation, as defined in Section 501c3 of the Internal Revenue Code. In the event of dissolution or final liquidation, the corporation and all of its remaining assets, after paying or making provision for the payment of all assets, shall be distributed as the National Executive Board shall determine for one or more exempt purposes within the meaning of the Internal Revenue Code, including distribution to such organization or organizations organized and operate exclusively for religious, charitable, scientific, and education purposes, as shall at that time qualify for exempt organizations as defined in the Internal Revenue Code. Who's eligible for membership? Well, she's a mother, meaning a woman who's filled the role of birth mother, adoptive mother, stepmother, foster mother, grandmother, or legal guardian to a person serving in the armed forces or who has served or has been honorably discharged from the armed forces. She's living in the United States or is a citizen of the United States living outside the United States. Who's an associate? Well, she's an individual that's not eligible for membership based on the congressional charter. Those wishing to be a part of the corporation in a supportive role to members can promote this mission. They are not required to pay dues, nor are they have any rights to vote, hold office, or be a delegate to national convention. They are, however, a valuable asset to our corporation. Article 6, the governing documents. And who is the governing body of the organization? The supreme governing authority of the corporation is the National Convention body, which convenes annually as determined by our bylaws at a national convention. It is the National Convention body is composed of our national officers, past national presidents, officers and members from departments and chapters that are in attendance, The national president shall preside over the Constitution. The governing body of the corporation shall be representative of the membership at large and shall not permit the concentration to be in control hand of a limited number of members in a self-perpetuating group that's not representative of the membership at large. It may be held in any state or territory of the United States, including the District of Columbia. The governing body corporations documents on the list that they apply in priority are the Congressional Charter, the Constitution, the bylaws, the Code of Conduct, and the Affiliation Agreement for national, department, chapters, and auxiliary between the National Executive Board and each department, chapter, and auxiliary. Powers of the corporation. The corporation may acquire, own, lease, or dispose of property capable of being used in connection with any other purposes of the corporation, do all acts, exercise all powers, and assume all obligations necessary and incidental to the accomplishment of the purpose and aims of the corporation. The officers of the corporation are elected or appointed in such manner as is defined in our bylaws. The National Executive Board consists of the most recently elected national officers, department presidents, and the three most recent P&Ps still retaining their membership in the National Executive Organization. If any of the three of the most recent P&Ps shall still retaining their membership in Blue Star Mothers of America cannot or will not serve on the NEB, the national president, with the approval of the NEB, may pro-tem another P&P to fill the voting position. All other P&Ps will serve an advisory role and will be a delegate to National Convention. The National Executive Board shall administer the activities and business of this corporation in the interim between national conventions. Auxiliaries may be formed in association with the corporation, subject to the terms of the governing body. Documents. The articles of incorporation of each must be presented to the NEB to ensure that the auxiliary furthers the goals of the corporation, such that the articles of incorporation and bylaws are not inconsistent with the Constitution and other governing documents of the corporation, and to ensure that the name and reputation of the corporation are protected. Should a new auxiliary decide to form, this would be brought to the convention body at National Convention. The fiscal year of the corporation shall be September 1 to August 31st. There are specific chapters that received an individual determination from the IRS prior to the 2009 convention, and they are allowed to hold that respective employer identification number, but no chapter formed after that may have their own employer identification number. Article 12 talks about the most current edition of Robert's Rules of Order will govern the corporation, to which they are applicable and which they are consistent with the governing documents or any other special rules of order the corporation may adopt. Article 13 consists of the amendments. They may be amended every 3 years at National Convention by a 2/3 vote of the eligible delegates present and voting. An emergency proposal may be submitted in a non-governing documents year if there's something that our governing documents would be in conflict with a state, local, or federal law. Any proposed amendments must be circulated to the membership 30 days prior to convention so that everybody will have an opportunity to review same. Any department, chapter, or members supporting those proposed amendments and resolutions must include an explanation for the proposed change or be present at convention or have a representative there to speak about the proposal. Amendments passed by the convention body shall be reviewed by the NEB and our legal counsel for conformity and compliance with the corporation's charter and Section 501C of the Internal Revenue Code. Amendments to the governing document shall take effect at the close of the National Convention. However, with a 2/3 vote of the convention body, a specific amendment may take effect immediately. This concludes the training on the National Constitution.